Hello everybody. Today is a different scenery. I'm in my front yard and I have glasses on because it's super bright out here and I'm under my umbrella. Today I'm going to be talking about pay for the Nanny Diaries series. So regarding pay, I'm going to talk about how much to pay, when to pay, and if it's going to be taxed. So how much to pay? Now when I was starting off, I didn't know how much to charge. I honestly did not know anything about it because back in my day when I was 16 it was like $5 an hour. So I didn't know how much it changed. So I looked on this like wage calculator. I think it was through Sitter City or care.com. I'll find it and put the link down below, but if I remember correctly, it asks for your zip code and how many kids you would be watching, and it calculates the wage according to that, or those specifics. So your area might be totally different from another area regarding pay. Like in Southern California, I think the going rate is anywhere between 10 to maybe 25 depending on the area. Like if you're in LA, it might be close to 30. It all depends. Then compared to like Nebraska in a farm, you know, it would be completely different. So that's why it asks for your zip code and how many kids you would be watching, because the pay does affect how many kids you would be watching. So again, I will leave the link down below of that wage calculator. That was such a big help when I was applying for jobs, because again, I didn't know where to start. I didn't even know how much to charge, really. So you could use it if you're a nanny or sitter, or you could use it if you are a parent. It goes both ways. So for when to get paid, I really think it all depends on the family. So for me, I get paid every week. That's because she asked me, is it okay if you get paid every week? I said sure. But my previous job before that, I was getting paid like every 3 weeks. And it was such an informal thing. I had to fill out like a timesheet, and it was based on 3 weeks. So there was like 3 weeks on one sheet of paper. So I would fill that out and then put it on the stairs, and then she would go get my money and give it to me at the end of the day. That was so informal. So informal and formal at the same time. But anyway, so yeah, I really just think it should be put on the family, because you don't know the circumstances or when, you know, the family gets paid. So I think it really should be put on the family and when they are able to pay you. Typically, I would say every 2 weeks, because that's when the average person gets paid, is every 2 weeks or twice a month. But again, it all depends on the family situation and circumstances. So I would leave it up to the family to decide when the nanny sitter gets paid. So for taxes, again, this is another touchy subject because it's kind of all over the place, but many families do not go through the tax route. A lot of them go under the table, if you will. So if that's a concern for you, then you would maybe want to find a sitter or a family that is comfortable going through the tax route. But some people aren't comfortable going through the tax route, so it just depends. But some are really upfront about it and say in their post, the families say in their post, you know, we are going to tax. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't want to be taxed, then obviously don't apply for the job. So yeah, a lot of families don't go through the tax route. Number one, because it is not a lot of money. Like, they are not paying the nanny a lot of money either because the nanny is working like maybe once, twice a week, or, you know, it's like a date night sitter type thing. You wouldn't tax, because you have to, in order to file for taxes, I think you have to make like a certain amount of money. So it all depends. Like if I was a full-time 40-hour plus week nanny, I would want to go through the tax route. So I think it all depends on that. I think full-time nannies are or go through taxes, or taxes are taken out of their paycheck, but don't quote me on it. Again, it all depends on the family. So I think, yeah, for number two, I think the other reason is that it's just such a hassle for the family, because they have to fill out, you know, a whole bunch of paperwork and all this extra stuff and forms, and it's really time consuming, and many parents just don't think it's worth it. And it depends on the family, it depends on the situation, and if you are comfortable going through the, you know, having taxes taken out of your wage, then definitely when you apply for the job, definitely bring that up and see, you know, where they are, because a lot of them do not think that it can be taxed. Like if it's a full-time, a lot of them don't think it can be taxed, but it can be, and you can have taxes taken out. And I think once you fill out all the forms and stuff, it's pretty simple. You would just, like around January, February, you would get like a W-2. I don't know if it's actually a W-2 because, well, it might be because the family is kind of like your employer, but I'm not sure, don't quote me on it, but it's kind of like a W-2 that you would get around January, February, and then you would just take it to your tax person or do your taxes online or whatever you do. So there, it's pretty simple, but I think getting the process started is a lot of work and hassle, and I think it deters a lot of people from it, but in the end, it is kind of worth it. So that is it for the whole pay situation. If you have any questions, leave them down below or send me a message. I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. So thanks for watching. Bye.